Let's talk about using credit cards to help you get out of credit card debt. That sounds crazy. I've heard of three different methods, two that really don't make all that much sense. The first one they call the snowball method. What that means is if you have multiple credit card balances, you start paying extra, if you can, to the smallest card to pay it off quickly. Because mentally, you now go from three balance cards to two to one. That's the idea. Doesn't really help you financially. They say that it's some sort of a mental thing. I don't believe it. Forget that method. The next one they call the avalanche method, and they say go after the credit card with the highest percentage interest rate first when you're applying extra money. So if you have extra money every month, no matter what it is, apply it to that card first. That makes sense. But that's just the standard. Why don't you go after your debt with the highest interest rate first? And we've got a video about this, but obviously you write down all your debts and you go after them with the highest interest rate. If your credit card's 21% and a personal loan is maybe 12% and your car loan's maybe 7% and your mortgage is 4%, well, start with that credit card first and go down. That makes sense. However, you're still paying high interest rates on that card. The fastest way, and we're going to show you an example, is using cards and transferring your balance from one card to the next. Now, there is a fee when you transfer your balance, but you can get a new card and they may have an introductory rate on balance transfers, typically 0% for around 18 months. So that means instead of paying 20%, you're now moving it to a new card and paying 0% for 18 months. That can be substantial. Take a look at this example and what a difference it can make. In the example, you see here on this calculator, and I'll put a link to this calculator because it's a real simple one to use, of a $10,000 balance on your credit card that you want to pay off. Assuming you're no longer going to run up and buy more things, you just want to pay this off. I use $10,000 because that is the average American credit card bill from what I saw. Let's just use a rate of 20%. Now, they calculate a minimum payment for you, and they say this is your minimum payment, but that doesn't mean anything. It's just the minimum they will accept. We're going to use 2% because that seems to be fairly common. So that means that on your $10,000 at a 20% rate, they'll accept the minimum of $200 a month. If you do that, look at this, it's going to take 9 years to pay it off. And the interest will be $11,680. So you'll pay the $10,000 balance plus the interest of $11,680 for a total of $21,680. So in order to pay off $10,000 in debt, you just paid $21,000. That means that every item you put on your credit card, if it cost $100 for a pair of shoes, you actually had to pay $200. Walk through all your items. That makes no sense. So how can you pay it off faster? Well, if you were to look at this example, $10,000, and you transfer it. Usually there's a transfer fee. So they charge you a 3% fee. So now you've moved the $10,000 to a new card, and your balance is now $10,300 because they charged you a fee. You get to pay for 18 months, 0% interest. So $200 a month for 18 months is $3,600. Therefore, your balance is $6,700. You now transfer it to a new card. Same thing. They charge you a 3% fee, happens to be $201. 18 months, you pay off another $3,600. Because again, of the $200 you're paying, all of it goes to principal. Then you do this one more time. You take the fee, you subtract the $3,600 over 18 months. Guess what? You've now paid it off with 0 interest because you moved it from card to card. It took you 54 months, which is 4.5 years. In the other example, it took you 9 years. So you paid off in half the time. But most importantly, you didn't pay $21,680 because of the interest. You paid $10,300 and another $200 and another $100 with the transfer fees. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. It's essentially $10,600 is what you paid using this method. Obviously, it is way better to transfer from card to card at a 0% so that you can pay it off in half the amount of time and pay literally half the amount of money. You're not paying $21,000, you're paying $10,000. There are very few ways of paying off your credit card debt that work this well and this quickly, assuming you can be approved. So you still have to have a good credit score. You still have to be careful to make all your payments on time. But if you can do it, this is a great method. Don't charge anything during this time period. Don't run up your debts, and pay off as much as you can, as fast as you can. If you have extra money, throw it at it, because every dollar you're able to spend during the 0%, every dollar you send them goes directly to pay off your debt. No interest during this period of time. If you can do it in 18 months, do it in 18 months. But worst case scenario, you have to keep rotating it and you can only pay the 200. If you're able to do it 3 times, you will still get out of debt in half the time, and it'll cost you half the amount of money. This is a great hack if you have no other options. And one of the best hacks, even if you do have other options, because where else are you going to get 0%? At the very least, you can make a huge dent quickly if you can at least rotate it once. I hope you like this video. I hope it helps you. Leave comments if you have questions, or you have questions about the example. And I would love it if you subscribed. It helps the channel, and I really appreciate you watching. Thank you.